Oh yes. Yes. You didn't want to watch that intro, hopefully. It's it's pretty outdated. Alright, so Master of Orion 3. Yeah, so I put the vote up on my Patreon page to you know, see what people would say, if they would vote yes or no, and it was a tie. So I went ahead and I decided to go ahead and do it. So sorry about that. But I think we had to get to this game eventually anyway, right? You know, I gotta be honest, I actually like this game. It's just, it's unfinished. What is finished is actually pretty good. But, you know, I actually, in fact, it was playing Master of Orion Conquer the Stars that I realized how much I missed the space combat in this game. And got the idea to maybe do it anyway. So, well, let me first mention. Hold on, let me make sure these settings are okay. It sounds a little loud, the music. Maybe that's okay. Just one more notch. There we go. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So this is not the base game. Like, I'm using several mods and patches. That's what you got to kind of do to get certain things working in the game. When the game was released, it was in a really buggy state. Like, a lot of stuff just didn't work, and you know, just a lot of stuff was unfinished. So I prefer to play this game heavily modded, and probably most people would prefer to play this game heavily modded. The base game just doesn't have enough to it. It's missing, you know, like I said, it was an unfinished game. So. But anyway, it's a list of mods I have. So I'm using Moo3 Patcher, and that's kind of like that just fixes bugs for the most part. But then on top of that, I also have the Tropical mod. I'll try to list the mods in the description. Keep in mind, it's kind of work to play this game. Like, you've got to install the game, and then you've got to sort out the mods, and, you know, like, a lot of the web pages that used to carry the mods are now defunct, and you know, the instructions are sometimes hard to follow, but you know, I got it all working here. So so the Tropical mod changes the base game quite a bit, but like I said, that's how I prefer it. I think the base game is a little bit dull. You know, Tropical mod does things like it extends the tech tree, and you know, you can customize everything about your race. Anyway, I'm not going to explain it all. I'll try to explain a lot of the mechanics as I kind of go through, and like do the race picks and stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm not even going to pretend to play this game fairly. I'm going to basically, I'm going to just power game it and just stomp everything. The game's not actually that hard, even on the hardest difficulty. But I guess the biggest challenge is just kind of getting through a full game with a big galaxy, or even a fairly small galaxy. It's a bit of a grind. So what we're going to do, so there's, you know, the usual races that you will probably remember, like the Klakon, the Silicoid, the humans and the Cylons, the Meklar, the Sakra, and a few new ones. I'm going to pick the Harvesters. And the reason... well, the thing about the Harvesters is they have basically no diplomacy. They can't interact normally with the other races. They basically are just on a war footing with everybody. There's an Orion Senate, and basically you can win the game through an Orion Senate vote. The Ithkul can't do that because, well, I don't think they can do that anyway. Theoretically, I think they could actually get into the Orion Senate, but it's like very unlikely to happen because somebody has to kind of invite you in, and then you have to get voted in by the members. It's probably, well, it's probably nigh impossible. I don't know. But anyway, so they're basically, you know, they're hated, and you're going to be at war with everybody. But you know what? That's okay, because that's how I play anyway. And they get a lot of picks. So we're going to play the Ithkul. And right there. That's what they look like. They're basically kind of like, I don't know. What are those things called from Aliens? Brain-sucked humans? I don't know. That's that's not Aliens I'm thinking of. You know where the aliens like implant something in someone's body and it, you know, manifests and comes out or whatever. I guess that's the same type of deal, right? They're humans, I guess, that are infected with some kind of parasite, I think is the idea. Anyway, rather ghastly, but they're actually really, really good. I'm gonna pick that symbol, and we're picking kind of a light blue color. So, and I'm not going to play them just straight. I'm going to customize them for, you know, to make them really, really good. So we have a bunch of race picks, and this is like, for the tropical mod, you can basically customize literally everything. In the base game, you could customize a race, but, you know, certain races still had innate bonuses and deficiencies. The tropical mod gets rid of that. You can literally customize anything. So we're going to kind of roll up our sleeves here and really customize these guys. So let's start with bioharvesting. Bioharvesting is basically farming bonus or deficiency. I'm at superior. I'm going to leave it there. Money from bioharvest. Oh boy. Where do I start with this? So this game works a lot differently than the normal like Master of Orion, you know, previous and after, where you just say, okay, farming. Let's put a guy in a farming slot or something like that. Or I see, no, Master of Orion didn't even have that, but Master of Orion 2 and Master of Orion Conquer the Stars did. Okay, so let's put 3 farmers in the farming slot, and there's your farming. Master of Orion 3 doesn't even work like that. Like Master of Orion 3, you've got like an income to each planet, like a GDP to each planet, and that GDP gets taxed by a certain amount depending on your tax rate, and that money that you get from taxes goes into driving your industry or research. So it's basically like you have a base industry of, like, I don't know, 10 production points. And that 10 production points doesn't do anything until you spend money. So you use the money that you get from, say, bioharvesting or taxes or whatever, and you pour it into your research, and that takes that 10, or let's say industry, I think I said industry, that takes that 10 industry and, multiplies it, and there's your production. It's a really complicated system. This game's really complicated, and I don't really want to go into all the details, but suffice it to say, money from bioharvest, I'm going to get my money elsewhere. I'm going to turn it down to poor. Alright, bioharvest from population. So each point of population can produce some food, basically, if you want to. I'm going to... I don't worry about that, because we're going to need food for other things like our industry. B, we're going to get plenty of food in the early game, and eventually we're going to get plenty, more than enough food. So I don't need my population to actually produce their own food. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to poor, and that means my population, which normally requires 1 unit of food per population point, is going to require 2 units of food per population point. But that's okay, because I'm going to get plenty of food anyway, and that's also going to give me extra points that I can spend elsewhere. Regional bioharvest. This is a little confusing, actually. Basically, it just means I get another farming penalty. But that's an extra 5 points that I can put elsewhere. So, mining. So, normally in the base game, you use minerals for industry. Mining gives you minerals, so you mine the minerals and then you run the industry, right? Well, there's two things here. First of all, we don't really need a high mining skill to get plenty of minerals. Second of all, I'm going to be running my industry off of food, at least initially. Like later on, when we get more techs, we'll be adding minerals into our industrial production. So it won't be just food, but it's fine. I'm going to get plenty of minerals by that point anyway. I'm going to set this to poor for more points because, like I said, we don't actually need it. Money from rare minerals, we're going to put it on poor because we don't need to get our money that way anyway. Minerals produced by population, you can just produce minerals just by, population. And that would forgo the need to mine any minerals, but not worth it. I'm going to turn it down to, I'm going to leave it at average, which is we don't produce any minerals. We're just going to get our minerals from mining. Manufacturing. Okay. This is very, very important. In fact, this is probably maybe the most important thing. If you're going to put something at above average or max, you probably want it to be in manufacturing. So manufacturing is basically, that's how you produce stuff. That's how you produce the ships, the colony ships or defensive ships or whatever, or just build stuff in your colonies. So you want that as high as possible. I'm going to put it at superior. Production per population. So each point of population innately produces production just by existing, without even taking into account like factories or anything. So you can have that superior or go down to poor. If I have high manufacturing from factories, I really don't need the production per pop. It would help, but I don't need it. So I'm going to turn it down to poor to give me more points. Craftsmanship. Okay, so when you're manufacturing, you also produce money. That's, I'm actually kind of not sure about this, but I usually put it at superior. So double the money from my manufacturing. So, like I said, you get money from taxes, and then you also produce money by other means. There's spaceports, there's trade, there's money from bioharvesting, or money from farming, basically, money from mining, and then money from actual craftsmanship. So when you're cranking up your manufacturing production, you get money from that, and that money again is used to drive everything else. So I actually don't know really how good this is if I put it at superior, but I'm going to put it at superior anyway because it makes sense that it would work. To be honest, I haven't really tested it too much. So that basically means when I'm running my manufacturing, when I'm producing stuff, I'm going to get more money just from that I could put elsewhere in my economy. Since I'm going to be have high manufacturing, I guess it makes sense to have high craftsmanship. So anyway, that's the choice I'm going to make. But I'm not actually really sure about that. But that's what I'm going to do. All right, so organic industry. Okay, so this is like in the base game, you start with running your industry off minerals, and later on as you get techs, you can run your industry off minerals and food. Now, the tropical mod here is allowing me to just run my industry off of food initially, and then later, I can add minerals. So it's kind of reversed. And it'll also give me extra bonus points if I do that. So that's what I'm going to do. So, you know, we're running everything off food now. So we're going to need a lot of food. And we're going to have to prioritize farming in the beginning. All right, so research. This is research from your... Maybe I should explain what a DEA is. A DEA is like... I forgot what it stands for. I think it's like Designated Economic Area, maybe? I'm guessing. Anyway, so if we make research DEAs in regions, this adds... It actually more than doubles the efficiency or productiveness of that DEA. So that's... We're going to put it at superior. You want a lot of research in this game. You want a lot of production, you want a lot of research, basically. Research per population. So just like production, each point of population actually produces its own research without having a research DEA. And you could pump that up so where, you know, it produces a lot more research, and I don't know, theoretically you could just research with just your base population without even putting any research DEAs. But I think that's still not a very efficient way to do it. I think you get much more bang for your buck by, you know, doing your research through research DEAs. You could theoretically do both if you had enough points, but I don't have enough points, so I'm going to leave it at average. Lab luck. Okay, so, like I said, this game is complicated. This is kind of confusing. I don't really even understand this myself, but basically, when you finish a technology, you have, that technology can be delayed due to just kind of a random die roll where it says, okay, well, something happened and therefore the tech, you know, wasn't actually finished. There was an overrun or something like that. Anyway, this increases the chance of having a technology overrun by 10% at superior, 5% at good, etc. You know, I'm not going to mess with that. I'm going to put all this stuff down at poor for the points, and it doesn't really matter. Our research is robust enough that I don't think this is going to really make much of a difference anyway if it's at poor. So anyway, putting it at poor. Creativity. So right now we're at poor, so that means we'll know 62% of the technologies. So as we go down the technology tree, sometimes we'll miss stuff. In fact, a lot of times we'll miss stuff. About, 38% of the time we'll miss a technology. That kind of sucks. I want to know all the technologies. I don't want to have to trade for technologies. Obviously, I can't really trade for technologies. I have super poor diplomacy, and everybody hates me. But anyway, I always like to put creativity at max. So that's what we're gonna do. Superior. Anti-reactionism. Okay, this has to do with like the overrun stuff. I haven't noticed a real problem putting it all down at the minimum. Government efficiency. Okay, again, did I mention this game was complicated? Okay, so government efficiency. There's something called the heavy foot of government, and it basically emulates, a bureaucratic, like a lot of red tape or bureaucratic. What's the word? Corruption. Or just not even corruption, just the fact, just bureaucracy, the inefficiency caused by a lot of bureaucracy, right? So as your empire grows and you get more planets, etc., your bureaucracy kind of expands, and so the cost of everything expands. So basically, what it is, the heavy foot of government value is taken in just the cost of anything you're trying to do is multiplied. So if you're building a ship worth 1,000, production points, and if your heavy foot of government is 1.5, then your actual cost of that ship, which is 1,000 production points, is actually 1,500 production points because it's multiplied by 1.5, which is a heavy foot of government. That's literally how it works. So obviously, you're going to want the expansion of your heavy foot of government to be as small as possible, so it grows very slowly, ideally. So anyway, that's what. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right here. I was on the wrong. Government efficiency is something else. Okay, I was talking about this. Let's continue talking about this. So, all right. So your bureaucracy grows at half the normal rate. That's where I want it. That's the best you can do. That's where I want it. You could have it down here at poor and save points, but your bureaucracy grows at 125% of the normal rate. We don't want that. Because basically what this is this is another production modifier. So we produce faster if this is at superior, basically, is how it goes. So that's where I'm going to put it. Okay, government efficiency is something completely different. Let's talk about that. Okay, so government efficiency. So you have a government DEA that you can build. You have to have at least one in your home planet. But basically what this is it's a DEA that increases the effectiveness of all your other DEAs. So let's say you have 5 industry DEAs on a planet, and then you have 1 government DEA on a planet. So that government DEA is increasing the production of all 5 of those industry DEAs. And the amount it increases the production is dependent on, well, how good your government efficiency stat is. And I think, let's see, I'm not sure. Well, obviously your tech, which will increase the effectiveness of that government DEA, but basically the government DEA has a value on it, which you can see, and that's how much it's increasing the effectiveness of your other DEAs. So, you could say, well, we could put this at poor and forget about putting a government DEA and just put another DEA of another type in there. But, again, we're maximizing our production bonuses and research bonuses, and having a government DEA in each planet that's, increasing the effectiveness of the other DEAs by 50%, that's actually better than putting just another DEA of the same type in there. So, maximizing efficiency, that's what I'm doing here. So we're going superior on the government efficiency. Now you see the average, the base efficiency is 1, and superior gives you +3. So that's a pretty huge boost. That's 4 times the base efficiency. So yeah. Anyway, don't worry if you're confused, because it's a confusing game. The mechanics in this game are very confusing. All right. Anyway, recreation DEAs. Okay, so what a recreation DEA does is it reduces unrest. Unrest is a kind of a nasty little mechanic, much like morale. Well, no, it's not even like morale in Master of Orion 2. It's not like morale in Master of Orion 2. It's not like morale in Master of Orion Conquer the Stars. It's completely different. So basically, unrest, if it gets too high, the planet will parts of the planet will go into rebellion. If it gets over that, you can lose the planet entirely. So you have to pay attention to unrest. It's a really nasty thing that can bite you in the butt. Recreation DEAs will reduce unrest on the planet, on the entire planet. I've found that the amount they reduce unrest on the entire planet is not that impressive. Now, the base efficiency starts at 3, and you can add +6, which is 3 times, the base efficiency, right? You're at 9. That's pretty good. Here's the problem. I'm going to be running government types that give a penalty to recreation DEAs, and I don't think recreation DEAs are that effective to begin with versus, say, the military DEA. So we're going to go ahead and put this at poor. which means they're only 1/10 as effective, which is a terrible, like, I mean, it's really, really bad. Like, you're not going to use recreation DEAs if you put it at poor. But I'm not going to use recreation DEAs, so that's perfectly okay. Also, I wanted to mention that government DEAs also reduce unrest by a certain amount, though not a lot. Okay, so military. So just like the recreation DEAs reduced unrest, actually, I think the recreation DEAs do something more. I think at some point they actually generate income. So there's, you know, something to say about that. That's, you know, that's something else other than just reducing unrest. But anyway, we're not going to bother with those. What we are going to bother with is military DEAs. Military DEAs reduce unrest by a lot more than recreation DEAs. And as you can see here, their base efficiency is 1. At superior, their efficiency is 7. So 7 times the efficiency from, you know, picking superior, which is actually pretty cheap. So that's what I'm going to do. Also keep in mind that military DEAs, their efficiency is increased a lot by the type of government I'm going to be using. So that's another reason why recreation versus military. Now, you don't even have to have either. You don't have to have a recreation DEA. You don't have to have a military DEA. You don't have to do that at all. But I do find that if I put a military DEA on each planet, that reduces unrest by so much that it's very, very worth it. I can crank my tax rate up really high and not have to worry about the planet rebelling. So, you know, for one slot in a region, I think it's a pretty good deal. So I'm going to take it. We're doing superior on that. As I customize my planet's regions, I'll try to explain a little bit more about how this works. Although you probably still won't understand because it's damn confusing. It's damn confusing for me. All of this stuff. It was. Well, I remember when I first got this game, and I got this game back when it came out, and I was like browsing through the manual trying to understand all this stuff, and it just, man. Anyway, okay, so trade amount. It doubles the money from trade agreements. We're not going to be making a lot of trade agreements because everybody's going to hate us. Trade agreement chance. Again, everybody's going to hate us. We don't care. So it's a poor. Spaceports. Okay, so spaceports are... they're a way of getting income. Now, we get a kind of a penalty to spaceports with our government that we're going to be running. So it's not going to be very good at anyway. But I'm going to have some free points at the end here. So I'm going to go ahead and put spaceports at superior. Because that's more income, again, combined with taxes, combined with, you know, the money we make from everything else. You know, you want a lot of money on your colonies so you can, you know, run your sliders high. So I'm going to put spaceports at superior because I do believe I have enough points to do so. Trade level. So this is, I don't even know what this is. I think this is connected to spaceports or something. I'm not actually sure what this does, but I'm going to put it superior because I think it might be connected to spaceports, and we want to get a bonus to spaceports as much as possible. Barter. Okay, we're not even going to do that because we're not going to be making any trade agreements. Environmental. So reduces pollution by 90 at superior, reduces pollution by 50% at good, and increases pollution by 50% at poor. Now, pollution is one of those things that it's a big deal in the early game as far as sucking up your money that you have for your production. But in the end game, with all the the bonuses that you end up getting with the technology that you end up getting, it's negligible, even if you choose poor. So I'm going to choose poor. Pollution absorption. Same story. Going to choose poor for more points. Same story. Pollution per person. Going to choose abysmal for more points. So yeah, like I said, it'll be an issue in the early game, but once we get to the mid game, that'll be basically a non-issue. Accuracy. So this game has ground combat. You know, you run up to an enemy planet, and you know, you take some troop pods with you, or you know, troop. What am I trying to say? You take some troops with you, right? And you invade the planet. This will help you, you know, win easier, right? If you choose accuracy superior. But that's not how I'm going to do anything. I'm going to go to planets that I'm going to conquer. I'm just going to wipe out the entire population of the planet, and I'm going to bring colony ships and recolonize the planet. So I don't need accuracy, I don't need reflexes, I don't need toughness, don't need any of that stuff. Peace affinity, I'm going to leave it at poor because it doesn't matter. Treaties, poor, because it doesn't matter. Means war counter, poor, it doesn't matter. Senate relations, doesn't matter, leave it at poor. Casus belli, again, more likely to get into war, again, if we don't care. Diplomatic ability, we don't care. Race charisma, we don't care. Reaction modifiers, we don't care. Government type, collectivist. Collectivist is probably the best government type, so it's the most expensive government type. I mean, you could choose absolutist for more points and representative and all that, but collectivist is, for manufacturing and research, is the best, I think. And at the same time, like giving you the best manufacturing, the best research bonuses, it also gives you the highest sliders for, let's see, what is it called? Oppressimeter. So you can crank up your oppressimeter, which keeps the spies out of your empire, which is very important. So, anyway, we're going with collectivist. Starting member of the Orion Senate? No, not an option to say yes. Gravity tolerance. Okay, so your race has a certain gravity that it's comfortable with. Further away from that comfort zone, you're going to take a penalty on everything on the planet, your research, your production. You know, so if you're 1 away from your normal gravity type, you know, that's, I think, a 25% penalty. If you're 2 away, that's going to be a 50% penalty. So a couple of things. We've got gravity tolerance on medium, so we can be 1 away from our base gravity type and still be okay with no penalties. 2 away, we're just going to suffer a 25% penalty. But keep in mind that technology can reduce the gravity penalty on a planet. So since I think we have a base gravity preference of medium, and the gravity range goes from tiny to tiny, is it? I think it's tiny to extreme, right? So with one, if we have a medium gravity tolerance, then that means that low gravity is okay, high gravity is okay. It's only the extreme in the tiny gravity, I think it's called tiny, that's a problem. But we can get a tech, we can get one tech that improves that, so we can settle on any planet within any range of gravity and be fine. So once we get that certain tech, which isn't very far down the tech tree, we'll be perfectly fine. So we can be at medium here and colonize all the planets with no gravity penalty eventually. Citizenship. So this is, you don't want to put this at poor. I can tell you that right now. Even though we're going to get things like military bases that will reduce unrest across our planet eventually, you just don't want to deal with constantly like adjusting your slider to try to deal with rioting citizens and stuff like that. So don't put it at poor. I'm going to put it at superior. It's just really, like, it's not that I need to do it, because like I said, I have ways to reduce unrest. The problem is that it's so inconvenient to deal with a bunch of planets having unrest problems until they, like, you know, get up the military DEA or whatever that they need to stop that. So it just, I'm going to put it at superior. Again, it's more of a convenience thing than a necessity. Yeah. Let's see. Starting planet mineral richness. You could, if you wanted to, have you know, your starting planet start at very rich or ultra rich or something like that, and you know, you'd be able to mine a lot of minerals. But we don't need to do that because we're not worrying about minerals, at least not in the beginning. So just leave it there. Starting planet biodiversity. This increases a little bit the amount of food you have on your home planet. Not necessary. I'm going to crank it all the way down for more points. Bioharvesting ring. So you can grow food on, in this case, we've got yellow 1 to paradise. That's fine. We wouldn't be growing food on red 1 anyway. We'll be terraforming those planets, and we'll be growing our food on the more habitable planets anyway. We don't need anything better than that. So we're going to leave it at average. You could even crank it down to poor and not really have too many problems, but that would put you in a situation where early on you might not find enough planets where you can get food from, and you might have a food shortage at some point, which is not a good thing. So we're just going to leave it at average. Spy cloaking, we don't need it. We're not doing any offensive spying. We're doing only defensive spying to keep to keep our precious techs from getting stolen. We're going to be a tech leader in this game. And we don't want people to steal our hard-earned tech, so we don't worry about spy cloaking, spy dagger. Spy luck, I'm going to put it at average because I don't want a penalty there. The luck is basically just the lifespan for your spies. So if you train a bunch of spies in your you know, spy training interface, you know, the amount of time they survive before you have to recruit new spies to replace them depends on your luck. So, actually, I think I have enough points to put it at good, or I'm going to have enough points to put it at good. I think. I'm not sure yet, but I think good is okay. So, spy training time. I'm going to put it at poor. I just need spies that stick around for a little while. I don't need like a whole bunch of spies here. It's fine at poor. It'll improve with tech, so we can train spies faster. It's a good way to get some points. That's doesn't really matter too much. Offense. By offense, we're not going to do offensive spying. Spy defense. This is really important. We're going to put it at superior. We don't want our tech stolen, so we're going to put that as high as possible. Our pressimeter, superior. We're going to want to crank up our pressimeter max, and we're going to leave it there. So this reduces the penalty you have for doing that in terms of unrest. Population growth. You'd think that you want to grow faster, and you kind of do, but it's not as important as you might think. You got to also remember that you can just colonize planets. You can stack colony ships and just colonize planets with more than one colony base. So, like, we'll have, like, mid-game, we'll have colony ships that have like 7 or 10 colony pods on them, and we'll just take 1 or maybe 5 of those colony ships and colonize one planet, and that'll instantly give us a population that's pretty large. You know, like a 20 population or whatever, 20,000. So you can kind of buy population with production in this game, is what I'm saying. So you don't really need a high growth rate, and later on we get text that, you know, increase this. So having a penalty here is not that big a deal. You might think it is, but it's not really that big a deal. So we're going to put it at poor. Cloning. This is we can start with the cloning technology. We'll get the cloning technology eventually anyway. And it's, you know, this will give you a growth bonus to your colonies. And like I said, not necessary. Maximum population. This is another thing that you'd think was really important. But we do not really rely on our population size for too much. Basically, you have, on your planets, you have regions. Within those regions, you have DEAs. As long as you have enough population to work those DEAs, then you got enough population. Getting a little bit more population than that doesn't really offer you anything but marginal benefits. Like, yes, your tax rate will be higher because you have more people to tax. Yes, the you know, production from population or research from population will be higher, and that's actually kind of a viable strategy when you think about it. I haven't really tested it too much, but just have, you know, production from population and research from population, and then have as high a population as you can get. That's a viable strategy. However, that's not the one I'm pursuing in this game. So I don't really care if we have a 10% less population on my planet because of the way I'm playing. So we're going to put that at poor. Terraforming rings. Okay, this is important. So I'm not sure how far the technology goes in terraforming. I know in the base game you get maybe 3. You know, you can take a planet, you know, terraform it 3 times in you know, towards your optimum planet type for your race, I think. So if it's say 4 rings outside your, you know, ideal environment, then you can never get it to perfect. I'm not sure if this mod changes that. I'm not sure how many terraforming rings you actually get with technology, but I'm going to put this at superior to give me an extra 2. And that also means in the beginning of the game, you know, I can get most planets into my ideal environment, which, you know, has multiple benefits in terms of, you know, population growth and maximum population, etc. It kind of makes up for the fact that I docked my maximum population in this option. Anyway, and also, you know, population growth I think is better in the ideal environment. Okay, so terraforming cost. So in order to terraform, you have to, you know, use production to do so, and this this helps. This reduces that cost. However, I've found that it doesn't really matter. I always put it at poor. I pay 3 times the normal cost for terraforming, but I've found that it's cheap enough anyway. It doesn't really matter. So, extra points for me. Let's see. So, Antarian X. This gives me a higher or lower chance to find Antarian X technologies. Antarian X technologies are something that you definitely want if you can get them. You have to send ships to go out and search for them. Those ships each turn have a chance of finding them. Theoretically, according to the description here, you have twice the chance to find them with Superior. I'm not exactly sure how the formula works, but I have definitely noticed that Superior is much better than Poor, which says you only have 1/10 of a chance. I think this is very important. I really want the Antarian X's. I want all of them if possible, so I'm going to put this on Superior to maximize my chance of actually doing that. They're actually extremely good. Like, they do things like, you know, oh man, reduce your pollution, you know, increase your production, crazy stuff like that. They're definitely worth getting, and so if you can get them, you want to do so, and I'm going to do everything I can to try and get all of them. We'll see, though. Okay, so lesser specials. Stubborn. This gives me a plus 2% chance to know potential text, so combined with superior creativity, which I took, this gives me a 100% chance to know technologies. So I know I will be able to research all the technologies in the game, and that's a good thing. Let's see here. Low orbit moons. Your race begins with the capability to build spaceports. No. Okay, we don't. We can wait until we research the tech. Barracks living. You pay 1/10 the cost for fleet maintenance. I really haven't found fleet maintenance to be a problem. It's a tiny fraction of my, my total income for my empire. Yeah, I haven't found it to be burdensome, so I'm not going to bother. Militant. Your military DEAs is +1 capacity. This means that your military DEAs start the game influencing an entire planet. That's big. So I took the military DEA bonus to maximum. So this I also want to take because I'm going to build a military DEA and it immediately affects the entire planet, whereas in the normal game you need to actually research tech down to a certain level to get that effect. Otherwise, you build a military DEA and you have to wait. I don't know what point in the tech tree, but at some point in the tech tree you get something that will let it affect the entire planet, whereas normally it just affects that region. So it's much less useful if you don't have the thing that lets it affect the entire planet. Now there's a problem here. So if you research Z storage basing facilities at Economy 42, and you steal transdimensional battlements from the new Orions, and you have all the other military capacity technologies, then your military capacity will roll over, and your military DAs will become useless. So now we've got all the... We're going to research all the tech, so we'll eventually get the tech requirements, all of the military DEA improvements. However... we will never steal transdimensional battlements from the new Orions, and we won't get it from them, by conquering their planets, because we're going to just take their planets, glass them, and then resettle them. So there's no chance of that happening, and we're not doing it in an offensive spine. So we should be completely safe in picking this. Charismatic. You attract amazing leaders. Your leaders have +20 luck ability. No, +20 to ability, luck, persuasion, and loyalty. And -10 to clown, etc., etc., etc. How did these variables work? Who knows? I can tell you that luck. I think just like with spies, it's basically the lifespan of the leader. Keep in mind that leaders in this game are not permanent. They'll hire on and then eventually they'll retire or get killed or something like that. So, I think we're going to take that because we've got an extra 10 points all said and done. Now we're going to go to human player balancing, and if you're the Ithkul, you're supposed to pick this, which gives us an extra 100 picks to kind of balance everything out. So now we got 100 more picks here. We're going to go over here. So Paradise, you have the ability to terraform worlds to Paradise, provided you have the requisite terraforming ring technology to get that far. I'm not sure if the ability to terraform to Paradise shows up eventually in your tech tree anyway, but it's nice to have early, so I'm going to take it. And Natural engineers. For those of you who can't get enough manufacturing, okay, so if you want more manufacturing, even more manufacturing efficiency, which we already have a lot of manufacturing efficiency, but if you want even more, you could take this pick for 180. We're not going to do that, though. We've got enough manufacturing. Insatiably curious. For those of you who just can't get enough research efficiency, here's another +12. We are going to take that, because we do want even more research ability. Again, we're gonna get a tech lead in this game, or at least I hope so, by a lot. All right, so that's it. And then you can cheat yourself in more points if you want to. We're not going to do that. All right, so that's it. That's what we picked. And let's go. You can't, unfortunately, choose your leader name. But anyway. Okay, so number of computer players. I have this kind of worked out to where I think it's balanced. 14. And we're doing a 4-arm spiral with 100 stars. Now, that's actually quite a bit. It's not the biggest. The biggest is like 2 or 50 stars. I don't see how any regular mortal person could actually play a galaxy that size. It's just, the game would be way too long, especially when you don't have the option to win by the Orion Senate. You have to actually take everybody out, which is what we're going to have to do. Victory conditions. Oh wait, star lanes. I have short star lanes and few. Specials, I have them on average. Random event generator, I have them on rare. I really don't like random events. Victory conditions, be elected to lead the Orion Senate. That basically might as well not even be checked, because we can't do that. I guess the AI can do it. Discover all 5 X's. That's too easy. I leave that unchecked. Become the sole superpower. That's what we're going to be doing. All right, timer options, minutes per game turn. I have it unlimited. Combat's allowed per turn, unlimited. Minutes for space combat. Be careful with this, because set too low. I think the minimum was 1, right? Yeah. Set too low, you're not going to be able to engage the enemy before the time runs out in space combat. And I don't know why they had just a timer and they didn't allow you to... They didn't have more options there, but that's how it is. If you set it too high, you're going to be waiting too long for those space combats that, you know, never go anywhere. So I have it at 2 minutes, and I found that that's probably the most ideal time. All right, so here we go. Start game, and I'm going to turn off the notes. Okay, so where did I start? Alright, I started on, yeah, it's a pretty good spot. So, not like, you know, not like in the center of the galaxy where I'm, you know, going to be attacked by everybody at once. Instead, we're kind of on the end there. Who is this? Oh boy, it's Cylon, huh? Okay. A couple of things to note about this, the harvesters. So that's my race. I'm a harvester. Harvesters eat other races. So if you stick them on the same planet with another race, they will eat that other race. This is such a good thing. I don't like having to play with mixed race planets, or I don't like having to play with a mixed race empire. The reason for that is because I've made all those careful selections to my race modifications, my race options, and if I get like another race, then they're going to have totally different values, and I can't count on like having the bonus to research. And the thing that I really worried about is I'm worried about the unrest bonuses. Like maybe if they have an unrest penalty. And I'm not really sure if that's how it works. I think it does. It's been so long since I tried to experiment with this, but let's say theoretically you have an unrest bonus on one race and an unrest penalty on another, and you never know where to put your sliders because, you know, you could be caught, like a high tax rate could be causing unrest with one race and you know, not another, and it creates annoying situations like that. So if we ever get in a situation where we come across like a magnate civilization, and like there's a magnate civilization on a planet, and we colonize that planet, we don't have to worry about trying to deal with that, trying to worry about them jumping over to other planets, because my race will just eat them. So they'll eventually disappear anyway. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. That's like one of the biggest bonuses playing harvesters. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, this game was made with the idea of macro management. The problem is it's not a finished game, and some of the macro management stuff doesn't work. So when you're dealing with two separate races in the same empire, you know, it makes that macro management a little bit complicated. Anyway. Okay, so let's... so much to talk about here. Let's see. Let's start with this. Let's go shipyards. So we're going to do this in phases here. First phase is called settle my other planets, basically. So I start with a system. In fact, let's take a look here. This looks pretty good. Let's see. Okay, good. Food. 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 Everything's poor. That's not good. Well, that one's not poor. Okay, so we're going to have plenty of food from the looks of it. We are, however, going to have an issue with minerals. It looks like this is the only planet that I'm going to be able to mine for minerals. All these others are going to be too weak. But that's not a big deal because we don't really need minerals until later, right? We're using food for production right now. But this is actually okay. This is yeah, plenty of food, and that's a good thing. Oh, abandoned colony. Wait a minute, abandoned colony. What does that mean? Huh. All right. I'm not sure about that. I think if I put a colony ship down there, it maybe has extra population. I don't know. All right, so yeah, all right. So we start making a system ship that has 2 colony bays on it. Now, a colony bay. So one colony bay. When you colonize a planet, that one colony bay will make a certain amount of population based on the habitability of that planet. I think on like an ideal habitable planet, it'll make like 1,000 population or something like that. So 2 colony bays will make like 2,000 population, right, on that same planet. And you can stack as many colony bays on a colony ship, and you can colonize a planet with as many colony ships as you want. You're going to see that later. So, you know, you just stack on those extra population. You're turning basically production into population. This is one of the reasons why I think, you know, the population growth bonuses are not really that big a deal. Anyway, so yeah, we've got to colonize all these planets before we get to the next phase. So we're going to start on that. Queue those up. This is the very confusing planetary interface. Let's go ahead and rename our system actually, so we know what, you know, when we see this show up in the events or something, we know what's happening. Okay, so I'm going to just call that system, this system, capital, and I'm going to call the capital of my capital, and call this home. So this is our home planet right here. And okay, you ready? Here we go. This is our planet. So planets are divided into regions. Now, normally a home planet in the base game will have 6 regions. This one has 10. So this is because we're using the tropical mod. So, all right, here's my regions, and I have an alluvial plain, I have an alluvial mountains, and I guess this is called, I don't know, plateaus. So plains are best; they give you the best bioharvesting or farming. Mountains give you the best mining, and plateaus are kind of in between. So anyway, what we're going to do here is we're going to farm pretty much everything and then put a bunch of production in the rest of it. So we're going to farm everything that can be farmed at a good rate here, and that means that right there. So we're going to put bioharvesting DEAs in all these places right here. This place too. So I've got some mining going on here. I'm going to get rid of that. Basically, this planet has to produce a lot of stuff. Now, the other planets can be kind of mixed in what they're doing, but this planet's got to pump out a lot of production in the beginning. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just fill everything with production DEAs. This is going to be, or industry DEAs. Okay, and I also have to do, like, I'm also going to have to put down a military DEA. every planet's going to get one military DEA, one government DEA. So the government DEA is going to increase the production, the effectiveness of the other DEAs, and the military DEA is going to lower unrest, which, as I said, is a big problem. And then finally, at this point, we're going to put some research DEAs. So, okay, so that's, and oh god, let me get to this part. So normally, how you were meant to do this is you were meant to take basically a spreadsheet, fill a spreadsheet out, and based on that spreadsheet, the AI would come in and autofill the DEAs based on what's in your spreadsheet. Here's the problem. That spreadsheet basically doesn't work. Or at least I don't think it does. I've tested it quite a bit, and I don't think it works at all. So that's the issue. So I'm going to actually do all this myself to maximize, the efficiency of my empire. I'm going to, put things there manually for every planet. It's actually not too bad. All right, so that's fine. That's all I need to do there. Let's go to, just quickly go to personnel. We're going to recruit a bunch of scientists, not scientists, we're recruiting a bunch of scientific spies. So these guys should keep enemy civilizations from stealing my technology. That's the idea. So, and you'll notice this looks a lot like Master of Orion Conquer the Stars. Apparently Master of Orion Conquer the Stars stole this, idea from Master of Orion 3. Where you hire the spies, and then they go into your agent list here, and then they have a certain time of I don't know. I don't know if they expire in Master of Orion Conquer the Stars. I don't think they do, but in this game they'll slowly expire as their kind of their luck value runs out, and retire from service, and you have to hire new ones. Anyway, and we started with a leader, apparently. 30% pollution absorption, 10% mining efficiency, minus 20% industry value. Not actually sure if that's such a good idea. There's a lot of stuff here I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want that guy. Lowers industry value. I guess I'll keep him. He's got some mining efficiency. Pollution absorption. I guess. Industry value, probably not that important. I don't know. It's kind of like... This game is underdocumented in terms of the actual mechanics behind it. Maybe that's a good deal. Maybe that's not. I'm not sure. At the very least, I don't think it's going to hurt me too much. Technology, we're just going to leave that as is. Finance. Okay. Oh, God. Gotta do more talking. Gotta do more talking trying to explain obscure mechanics that even I don't really understand. Okay, so tax levels. Let's talk about taxes. So, alright. I think the idea here is you've got an empire-wide tax and a system-wide tax. So the system-wide tax... If you have, let's say, 5% system-wide tax, each system will tax each planet by 5% on top of their other taxes. And that 5%, the money from that 5% taxes will go into the system capital. You have the empire capital, and then you have system capital. The system capital. So one planet in that system will be the capital of that system. That's where the money will go from the system taxes, and that'll just go to that planet, I think, and that planet will just have more money to, spend. Okay, so that's the system taxes. The empire taxes, every planet in the empire will be taxed by 10% in this case, and that'll go into this budget right here, which will be redistributed to all the planets in the system. And you can fund additional research spending, you can fund additional military, you can fund unrest suppression, and you can give grants, just grants to planets. I think the grants to planets go primarily to the newer planets. Maybe? Oh, it's been so long since I actually read how the mechanics of that works, but I think that's how it is. This is important for when you make new planets. They need to get money from somewhere to actually get up and running. So the grants to planets is the important part. So, you know, you don't need it 10%. You could put it down. I mean, the more you lower it, the more you lower the unrest, right? So if you wanted to put it at 0, you could put it at 0, and that would give you, an unrest bonus, basically. But I'm going to leave it at 10%, at least for now. The main thing I want from that is when I found new planets, I need some money to actually go to those planets to get them up and running. And so that's why I want that at 10%. The system thing is just kind of stupid. You don't need to take taxes from the planets in the system and give it to one of those planets. You don't need to do that. So I just put it at 0. Anyway, okay, so, and I put the spending here, kind of balance it out a little bit. Minus 43. Yeah, it could actually probably be a little lower. Let's put the military budget down. Minus 11, okay. It should be okay, whatever. All right, so general budgetary policy, balance. You could put it at spending or savings, but really, so you have a treasury, you have an empire-wide treasury, and that's, like I said, that's where the empire-wide taxes goes. And that treasury, if that ever goes into the negative, then you actually lose the game. So you got to be careful with that. Yeah, I guess like if you got a bunch of money, you could put yourself into spending on the policy options and, use that money or something like that in an emergency. I usually don't mess with it. I usually just try to keep it balanced. Yeah. It's like another layer on top of these many layers in this game. So military economic policy, we're keeping it on peace and prosperity for now. So that basically influences how much your planets will spend in order to like produce military stuff like ships and planetary bases and stuff like that. I will be, moving that to Holy War at some point and then back to peace and prosperity. But anyway, like I said, this game is made with macro management in mind. Even though some things are broken, other parts work pretty well. This is one of the parts that work pretty well. So, you have this big empire with like 20, 30 planets, and you're like, okay, everybody start making ships. Instead of like going in and like doing that manually for all those planets, instead you just go to like, you build the ships that you want, and then you go and click this to Holy War, and they'll start building those ships, right? Okay, anyway. What else? Empire is the last thing we need to do here. Okay, so oppress meter. This is basically your spy defense. There's kind of 2 layers to your spy defense. First is the oppressimeter. That, keeps a certain amount of spies out. And the second is your actual defensive spies. So if they get past, I assume anyway, this is how it works. If they get past the, basic defenses put up by your oppressimeter, they'll go, the individual spies you have in defense, I think, have a chance to actually stop them. So I'm going to crank the oppressimeter on up to max, and I'm going to leave it there. My government type allows me to have it pretty high, and plus I've taken bonuses that allow me to put it even higher without too many penalties. So putting it high basically just increases unrest. This is why I have lots of ways to deal with unrest, is because I need to run this high and run taxes high as well. Anyway, Colonization, you can put this on and AI will immediately colonize planets. I usually won't do that because I want to colonize the planets myself, because I probably want to colonize with more than one colony ship, and the AI will just use one colony ship. Later on, I might actually do this though, once things don't matter too much. Let's see, regional zoning. I'm going to put it at specialized. Planets governed by this polity would. Okay. I'm going to put it at specialized because I think that this makes me prioritize building DEAs, which are things like mining and farming. And with my first planet here, one of the annoying things is I cannot control which DEAs they build first. So if they start building like an industry DEA before they start building the farming DEAs, I could be in a situation where I don't have a lot of farms and I don't have enough food, and they keep building like industry DEAs, and it does me no good because I don't have the food to support them. So turning this on seems to help them build the farms first. Hopefully, again, it's like another one of those things where you just don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I think that's what that does. Hopefully. All right, let's talk about labor. So forced labor. Later, like towards the mid game, you'll start getting like what's called FLUs, forced labor units, and they will be assigned to DEAs and regions, and they will increase the productive capacity of whatever DEA they're assigned to. They're like, I don't know, slave labor, or like convict labor, maybe. That's how they're supposed to be conceptualized. Like, so they'll be assigned to a DNA, and like everything in this game, they'll have a certain lifespan. So if you crank up the slider and make them work harder, they'll die earlier is the idea. And also you get a penalty for that, in terms of unrest. But I'm just going to leave it here. It's fine. It's fine here where it is. I don't really mess with this too much. I guess you could crank it down and get a bonus to your unrest. So, you could get less unrest and maybe crank your taxes higher or something. Whatever. I just usually don't mess with it. Anyway, so my government type is the Hive. Oh, actually, let me mention that fact. See? Okay. Oh. ¿Hoy es día de madre?
No, pero estamos comprando las pinturas porque vamos a hacer un regalo.
Train ticket sellers. Alright, momento. What does regresar mean? 20? Alright.
No.
Te amo. Alright. Adios. Okay, sorry about that. I forgot to mention, this is actually higher than it normally would be. I just noticed that. And the reason for that is because I'm the harvesters, and I actually get an innate bonus to these things, which I actually didn't think that that was the case anymore with this mod, but apparently it is, because I'm noticing this is definitely higher than the normal range. That is, anyway. I'm not sure about the oppressed meter. I think the oppressed meter might be 2. I think it's 1 higher. So that's interesting. The Ithkul still get another bonus there on top of all the other bonuses that I selected in the race selection or race modification screen. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about the government. So the Hive. These are the collectivist governments. You got the Hive and you got unification. One is good at research. One is good at manufacturing. I've got the one selected that's good at manufacturing because that's kind of like the entire focus of how I'm going to play the early game anyway. I might switch to the unification for the research bonus at the past the mid game, maybe. I'm not sure, but anyway, they're very good. This is actually like the values here. They were kind of marginal in the beginning. in the original game. Like, the differences between the governments wasn't really that much. It was like, 15% extra here, here and there. But the mod made them a lot more distinct, and the Hive is now gives you a 45% bonus to manufacturing, which is huge. 20% to mining, 15% to bioharvest. Military 140%. Remember how we picked military DEA, up their effectiveness in the beginning. So in addition to that, we get a 40% bonus. Recreation DEA is only 85%, so it's a 15% less effective for the recreation DEA. That's why I'm not using the recreation DEA. Spaceports are 85%, so their spaceports are not as effective. 15% penalty. Let me see, unification is... Yeah, spaceports are actually 105% on unification, so it's not too bad. But anyway, heavy foot of government minus 10%. So basically this is manufacturing big time, a little bit extra research, and more efficient government, better oppress meter. I'm not sure why total tax is 30%. I'm not sure what that means. Is that the optimum tax? I know you can crank your tax rate up to like 100%, I think. So I'm not sure why it says 30%. I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, basically we're production-focused government right now. Actually, let me see. I can't type it in. 40. Oh, it's 45% max. Okay. Yeah, don't crank it up that high. You'll have a revolt on your hands. Or at least, actually, I might be able to crank it up that high later. But it's actually more than 20%. It's actually 30% because I've got the Empire tax on too. Anyway, all right, enough talking. So I've set everything up. We're going to hit the next turn. If you survived that. All right. Ooh. Okay, I'm not sure why the Treasury does that. So it says I'm negative. I can't actually read that. I think it's 847. I'm not sure where that negative number came from. Event, the lead researcher for a continuous laser project has gone rogue. Okay, so that just delays that tech, basically. I don't like events, but there's no way to turn them off completely. Here's what I'm interested in, though. Let me see what we're actually doing. What are we building? Okay, we're being stupid and we're building an industry DEA when we're not going to have enough food for it, so that sucks. Nothing I can do about that, though. I'm not sure if that's just completely random. Alright, well, let's talk about diplomacy. So, I am supposedly just completely hated. I'm the Ithkul. I'm the most hated race in the galaxy, and I've got all bad diplomacy modifiers. And he's offering me a research pact, which I'm not sure if it's a bug or not, but whatever. He's definitely not going to like me, but it's kind of surprising that he offers me this. If you read this, it's kind of humorous. Listen well, O Ithkul, we will not allow you to turn down our offers, so do not try to sway us with your decadent bargaining. We must immediately accept an ongoing exchange of scientific information to better me. Don't be a fool and disobey my decree. Now, this is one of the things that was advertised with this game was, oh, you're going to have these dialogues with the AI that's going to be like, it's going to be like, custom made to like, I don't know, communicate their, exact disposition and all that kind of crap. And it just didn't work out. No. Estoy ocupado. Huh? ¿Lápiz? Yo no sé. No, pregunta mamá. ¿Dónde estás? Well, yo no tengo sus lápiz. Su lápiz. Yo sé dónde está. Alright. Alright, muy bien. Well, yo no tengo lápiz. Here, minute. Sorry, guys. Got, the munchkin. I thought I had a pencil in here. She's looking for a pencil. I thought I had one, but I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. No, lo siento, no hay lápiz. Well, pregunta tal vez su abuela tiene. Alright, muy bien. Well, cierra la puerta. Alright. Alright, well, anyway. Cierra la puerta. Alright, what was I saying? Yeah, they were advertising like some really complicated and clever communication system where the AI used these words to kind of based on its disposition towards you, and it just it didn't work at all. But the result is pretty humorous. The AI just mixes all these like phrases together, and it just sounds like nonsense, but it's kind of funny. Anyway, yeah, he offered me a trade treaty for some reason. Who knows why? Let's go ahead and let's just hit the next turn. And I'm hoping that... Okay, good. Alright, this is what I wanted to see. So, it seems to have stopped building... Oh, no, it did build those industry DEAs, but it's now building a bioharvesting DEA, which is what we need because we need food. So, as you can see, we're in the red on our food. We've got 39 produced, 96 needed. That's because we're running our industry off of food. So, really important that we get that food up, because we're basically starving while we have that not, in the red like that. Plus 2 recreation efficiency, plus 10% infrastructure. I'm not sure what infrastructure does. And 30% extra maintenance cost. No, thank you. We're not using recreation DEAs. So that is totally wasted, except for the infrastructure, which I'm not sure what it does. Okay, good. Looks like we're prioritizing the bioharvesting DEAs, which means we're going to have more food up here in a bit. Good. All right. Putting it on. Yeah, food's climbing. Okay, just built a new spy. What are you doing, bro? Should be building more food. Okay, good. Absolutely. All right. Yep, good. That's exactly what I wanted to see. What is this? 30% industry value, plus 3% with plus 1 spaceport efficiency, minus 10 spy defense. No thanks. No thanks. That is not worth it. So when leaders join you, they'll have like 2 good values and 1 bad one. And unfortunately, I cannot deal with the negative spy defense. I really don't want to get my stuff stolen. I'm going to try and build these hydroponic farms as fast as possible. 4 turns. Okay. 2 turns. 1. Okay, who's this? Industry value, population industry, minus 20% research efficiency. Okay, for now. Later on, I probably want to focus on research, but right now, this is more production, so I'm okay with that for now. Hydroponic farms get built. And next turn, we should get a lot of food. I'm also terraforming, which is fine. We want to build this. We want to build these things. Yeah, these system colonies. I'm building right now. That's fine. That's fine. This has not even worked yet, probably because I don't have enough food. There you go. There you go. All right, now we have the food to drive our industry and feed our population and feed populations that we're going to found and some other colonies. So military DEA. So look at this. So This negative 336, that's the amount it's taking away from my unrest. So unrest values, if they're in positive territory, you got to start worrying. If they get positive 30, you really got to start worrying. So we've got an unrest value per region of 146, 146, 146. In the actual region that my military DEA is in, it's negative 327. So how it works is the military DEA does, you know, for the region it's in, it's a full value. For the other regions, it's a half value. And despite it being half the value in the other regions, it's still better than the Recreation DEA, because the Recreation DEA is just weaker. So that's why I'm going military DEA. But it affects all regions on my planet right now. That's normally not the case until you get to a certain level of tech, but remember I had picked that option, which made it affect all the regions from the start. So that's cool. But this means basically I could probably crank my tax slider up by about 4 or 5 values, or 4 or 5 percentage points here, which again gives me more money to work with. Yeah, so he's already spying on me, and I just killed a spy of his. He's going to have a very hard time getting through, though. Well, wow, shrugged that off, actually. Damn. So 26% tax rate, no problem, apparently. Good, I'll put it at 30%. And that, okay, so with my taxes, you can see me start to crank this slider up here. The yellow, so, oh boy, more complication. Well, what can I say? How do I explain? I don't even really understand this 100% myself, but basically, so the money, so you have your GDP, and then a certain percentage of that is your tax income, and that's set by your tax rate. And then in addition to that, you also have income from other places. Or wait a minute, no. No, GDP is your total income. Why is it so low, though? My tax income is much smaller percent than 30% of my GDP. I have no idea. This game is so complex, and it's like, this was always a problem with this game. You have no idea what's going on here. I don't know why, whatever. We do know that my, well, no, maybe it's not updated. Let's close this. No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So my income is, let's see, does that drop? I think I have to maybe go all the way out. Let me see. Still, I spent, like, when I first got this game, I remember spending hours clicking through things, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Okay, so that did budge the number when I went out, when I went completely out. Yeah. So the other thing is, the interface doesn't update until you actually like go out of the interface and come back. This is the other problem. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so I have a GDP of 13,000, and my taxable income is 4,000 for some reason. Even though it doesn't exactly add up to 30%, whatever. And then from that taxable income, from the total income, actually, there will be trade income at some point that'll add to that. So from the total income, that's what you have to actually spend in your planet and build stuff, right? Or research stuff. So that goes down here, and then from that income, I can, you know, use a certain amount of that, a certain percentage of that, to build ships or, you know, do whatever. Anyway, so that's what's going on there. And the color of the slider will change. Like, if you have it down here, it's green. If you have it up here, it's yellow. It'll eventually go crank it up here. With enough tech improvements, it'll actually become red, which basically means you're overdriving your industry. So you're spending more money. You're spending money inefficiently to get something done quicker. Anyway, so we want to get these system colonies out as quick as possible because we want to colonize these planets as quick as possible. We have one ready right now, so we got to pick the first planet that we're going to colonize here. We put probably the most habitable planet. This is actually pretty good. It's low gravity, but that doesn't matter. We shouldn't actually get a penalty on low gravity because of our picks, right? Okay, so we just landed. That was actually 2 colonies that we landed at that planet. 2 colony pods. So we have, yep, a population of 2. That's about right. Okay, so this is a poor mineral planet and not a very big one. What we're going to do is put 2 industry DEAs. That's fertile, so we're going to put 2 bioharvesting DEAs right here. Unfortunately, the terrain is not really good for bioharvesting. We're going to put 2 here also. Okay, and then government, military. We're going to have that on those 2 DEAs on each planet. And then just research. There you go. And that's it. I'm going to do that for every planet. That's how it is. How it is. Don't let the computer do stuff. The computer is stupid. Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot to talk about the development plans and why I think... Well, the fact that I think they don't work at all. I've tested them a lot. So, here's how you were supposed to do it. You were supposed to just, you know, settle planets, and that was it. You didn't even touch the planet. You just let the computer figure out where to put what in what region. And well, actually, based on this spreadsheet here, right? So we go to all planets, and we say, okay, all planets, we need to primarily focus on farms, and then, well, secondarily, we want to probably focus on manufacturing, and then tertiarily, we want to focus on research, right? That makes sense, right? So for each planet, we'll get a lot of farms. We'll get a lot of farm. All right, yeah. I don't know where they are. Okay, all right. Well, I don't know where they went. Ask Lucy. I put a Cerro La Puerta? Alright, so... Yeah, we'll have a lot of farms, we'll have some industry DEAs, and we'll have some research DEAs. That's like how that's supposed to work, right? Problem is, I don't think it works at all. I literally don't think it works at all. I've seen... Like, the computer just builds whatever it wants, from what I've seen, and I've done some experimenting with that. So, that's a big problem. Supposedly, it would be nice if that worked. In fact, it would be nice if you could say, if you could make a list of rules, you could say, okay, on this size planet with this kind of terrain, you make this, this, and this, and this. That would be great. That would be great if you could do that. Even this right here is really obscure, and I don't even know how this is really supposed to work. I've read the theories on how it's supposed to work, but whatever. Anyway, I just leave it blank. Like I said, we just do it manually. All right, so where do we put that ship? Right there is a pretty good spot. There you go. Okay. This guy has something else to say. He wants an economic agreement, which is kind of weird. Again, I'm not, supposedly not supposed to like me at all. All right, industry. Yeah, 2 industry DEAs at least. Arable? Okay, let's bioharvest that one. Let's bioharvest the fertile. Let's bioharvest that one. Arable. Okay, bioharvest that one. Okay, and then let's go government military, which we need on each planet. And then we go... Looks like we're going to do 2 research DEAs on this one, too. Fine. Okay. All right. that's good enough. So those are going to be primarily farming planets, which we're going to need, of course. Let's see what else we got here. Well, there's another pretty habitable one. Fear has been caused in the capital due to rumors of space pirates. Unrest has increased. Great. Okay, industry DAA. That's a good enough place for an industry DAA. This place is not... Okay, this place has some farmable regions, apparently. I could actually... I mean, if I really wanted to, I could put some farms here, too. But I don't think I'm going to be that hard up for food in this particular case, so we're not going to put anything there. So, government, military, and... let's put a little bit more industry on this one. And then everything else is going to be research. So we have 4 industry DEAs. It's going to be a little bit more production focused. And then research. Alright. Actually, let's check the capital because I want to see... I never did check to see what my Unrest values were after cranking up the taxes. Okay, negative 56 is still fine. Even if it does increase by a little bit because of that event, we're still fine. Yeah. Okay, this is get these more colony ships. Boom. Oh. Oops. Forgot that I had already made one. Okay, so let's colonize this one. These 2 yellow ones we're going to colonize. That's 2 colony ships in the same turn. Right, so figure this one out. So industry DA right here. Nope. Industry, nope. Industry, there you go. Poor, huh? Sustenance. This is okay. We could bioharvest this one. Yeah, you know what? I think we're fine with the food. I'm not going to put any more down. Okay, so research. Okay, and this one. Okay, a lot of mountains, but it's very poor, so mining's not really an option. That would be a really stupid thing to mine this. 4 industry DEAs. Let's do government, military, and is any of this farming? Sustenance. You know, you could farm here. I'll just do a little farming and then research. Oh, the other thing about the you know, the Empire plans is that it's not it's never 100%. Like, I couldn't tell them to always put a government DA and a military DA. I mean, I could try to do that, but it wouldn't work out that way. So my whole plan of having a government DEA on every planet and a military DEA on every planet, that wouldn't always happen and kind of screw everything up, like my tax rates and stuff like that. That's another reason. Like, I want things uniform so I can plan on how I'm going to, like, set my taxes, etc. Alright, that's 2 planets there. Did I get another guy out? I think I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so right there, that yellow 2 planet's going to get colonized. And this red planet, this planet I'm going to have to use several colony bases on. So probably 3 at least. Alright, so just colonize that planet. Sustenance. Yeah, it's actually toxic. Oh, no, it's actually... No, it's not toxic. It's out of my range of what I can put a farm on. Alright, so 2 industry, or 4 industry DAs. Government, military. Military, alright, so research. And I guess we're just natural wonders. What does that do? Increase government DA. It's probably going to go away until our terraforming, but just in case it doesn't. because I'm going to terraform this several times, of course, so just in case it doesn't, that gives me a good bonus to the government DEA right there. Research, research, research. I'll put 3 research, 3 industry on it. It's going to be kind of a little bit of a production place, too. Data cache. As much can be recovered as soon as not possible. Cache stored of data research has been found here. I think that helps your research. I'm not sure exactly how that works. The shipyards, I'm going to obsolete the system colony. We're not going to be building that anymore. I'm going to build 2 more. $25. Okay, so this is not a bad, like, it's not bad at all here. As far as how fast I colonized all my planets. It's actually pretty good. Okay, so there you go. Alright, so 3, actually a total of 6 colony pods in one go. And we're going to colonize this Red 2 planet. Normally, like, if you just used 1 colony pod on that, it would just, it would not even get to where you could use it yet. So, okay, I'm going to have to do something. We're going to have to get some defense. Remember, we're the most hated guy in the galaxy here, and we're just sitting ducks right now. So I've got to go in. Whoops, what did I just do? Mark obsolete. Into auto build. Yeah, okay, I did that. All right, remove item. So we're going to make some system defense ships, and we're going to make them in a way that maximizes the capacity for weapons, and, you know, we don't have to, like, move fast here. So I'm going to drop the engines to the lowest possible value, so they're basically not going to be able to move around. They're just going to sit in one place and shoot out missiles. And I might as well add a focus detection array, so I maybe have a chance of actually finding the enemy, therefore I know where to shoot the missiles. I'm going to use this strategy a lot on ships in the beginning. Basically, it's very... How do I put this? It's almost not worth giving your ships engines to move around in combat until a certain point where they can get fast enough engines where they can actually traverse the combat map quick enough to get to the enemy. That takes a while to get there, though. I'd say like halfway through the game, to be honest. I mean, it's fun. Combat in this game is probably the best part of this game, is the space combat. I think they did it better than... Well, I like the turn-based combat in Master of Orion 2, but if you're going for real-time combat, they kind of did it better than Master of Orion Conquer the Stars. It's pretty fun. And it's pretty fun to get new tech and, like, mount it on this, like, you know, different mounts, and it's fun. But unfortunately, they made the maneuver that, like, there's no way to speed up or slow down the combat. Like, you can't go to half speed or, you know, double speed. That's what they really needed, was the ability to speed up or slow down the combat. That doesn't exist. It's just, you know, whatever. Didn't finish the game, really. So if you, like, have slow ships, you're going to have to wait for them to go from one side of the map to the other to get close with their beam weapons. So in the beginning of the game, I say, screw that. I don't have my ships move at all, basically. And I just load them down with, like, missiles and fighters, which travel much faster across the map than your ships can. So, and it's actually pretty effective strategy. Later on, beam weapons get good enough where that's probably the best way to go. But early in the game, the fighter boats and the missile boats kind of rule. So that's what we're going to build here. I like to put one laser cannon on at the very least. They can, you know, do some damage if anything gets close, or maybe defend themselves from fighters. And okay, so we're going to put a nuclear warhead on with 3 missiles per rack. That's how many shots you get. And we're going to just up the rack count here until we run out of space. Yep, okay. And then I'll put a few fighters on just for fun. Laser cannon. Yeah. Gonna get obsoleted pretty soon, but, you know, until that point, it's quite useful. Okay, so we're gonna call it defense. Confirm design. We're making system ships, so because the space available is more. If you look at the capacity, so if you look at the capacity down there in the bottom right corner, orbital starbase, if I make the same ship size, an orbital starbase, it's 400 capacity. A starship, I'm sorry, a system ship is 200 capacity, and a starship is only 100 capacity. So the idea being, if you make, like, say, an orbital starbase, which doesn't move, it just orbits the planet, you have more space available for weapons and stuff. And a system ship, which doesn't orbit the planet, but just doesn't go outside the system, you have, you know, not as much capacity, but more than a starship, which actually can, you know, cross to other systems. That's a really cool idea. I mean, the orbital starbase is like, you know, the Death Star from, you know, Star Wars. That's kind of an idea. It's really cool. Unfortunately, we'll basically never use them. It's because we'll always be on offense, not on defense. But like, as far as cheap defense, these are pretty cool. You can design them yourself. Unlike in, you know, Master of Orion 2, where, you know, you build a starbase and it's just automatically fitted with whatever. In this game, you can actually fit it yourself with whatever you want. Pretty cool idea. Like I said, not used because we're not going to be ever really using those. But, you know, I respect the idea. Okay. Okay. We're gonna quickly get some defenses up, and then we're gonna move on here. Alright. Landed at, we managed to get to population 2, so we spent what? We burned, was it 6 colony pods to get to population 2? So as you can see, because it's not very, like, it's very inhospitable, for that reason we really didn't get much population out of it. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. Move this item. Wow, we're gonna really not have a lot of mining, are we? I've got only 2 ideal spots for mining here, which is these 2 mountains, and that was it. That's pretty sad. So we're gonna have to conquer some planets with some mining ASAP. Industry DEAs. Industry DEAs. I'll do a split here. 2 industry DEAs, 2 research. Okay. Yeah, a little bit short on the mining DEAs, but we should be okay still. Alright. Alright. Okay, we're gonna get that first round of those guys up. So we got 5 defensive ships here. Gonna drop this just a little bit. We don't need to be so aggressive as far as that goes. Okay, we're researching at the same time here. What do you want? Increase research. Okay, so that's not really like, I think that's not really, I don't know how that trade works actually. Additional research. Inter-civilization trade is only 4 AUs. Yeah, I'm getting basically nothing from those trade agreements, but if it makes him happy and it keeps him from attacking me for a little while, I guess it's worth it. Alright, we're going to wait for those defensive ships to get up there, and then we're going to, let's go ahead and scrap the design right now. We're going to switch to research. We've got to research to a certain level of tech here, and then go to the next phase. Should be good. Okay. Alright. Crank that slider down. Crank this slider up. Oh, you know, it reset my taxes to, why did it reset my taxes down there? So my taxes were at 30%. For some reason, it cranked them back down to 22%. I'm not sure why. Interesting. Again, I'm not... You can actually turn the Planet Econ AI off and, you know, where you set the sliders will stay. On the other hand, that's a little bit, you know, it's too much micromanagement. I prefer to not. I prefer to have it just automated, but whatever. But I'm not sure why it cranked the taxes down, because it had plenty of leeway with the Unrest. So that's kind of a mystery. Anyway, okay. Well, we're researching at full blast now. So turn 35. Okay, we've got to do this. All right, technology. So what we're going to do is we're going to crank everything into Empire. We got to get to level, I don't know, whatever level Empire. I'm trying to get a specific tech, and once I get that, then we can put the slider back. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a ways down here. See if we're there yet. There it is, Research Laboratory. Okay, so once I get to that tech, we can shift the slider back to something else. Diplomacy. Economic? Sure, why not? I'll do it. I can dig. No, not there yet. Not there yet. All right, we're there. Yep. Okay, we got that in our queue here. The way the research works in this game is different than in the other games. You research a category, and then once you come across the technology, it goes into like a pool, like over here, where it doesn't matter if you put points in that particular category anymore. You still research it. You know, once it's in here, you research it within a few turns anyway. It's kind of weird, but whatever. All this weirdness with this game was like meant to kind of like simulate how things are done in real life, you know, like the economy stuff and all that. Interesting idea, but very obscure. And unfortunately, the game wasn't finished, so like I said, some of it doesn't actually work at all. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to crank my slider up to 100% in fleet, because that's the other thing that we need to get to the next phase. So the next phase will be finding the Antarian X's is the idea. And this is just telling me like this or that tech was completed, etc. I don't really pay too much attention to this, except when I see something that says, you know, like something was destroyed or something was stolen or something like that, which should be pretty rare. Sublight drives. Okay, we need to get a lot farther than that. We've got to get... we needed to get the research lab tech, and then in addition to that, we need to get a certain level of drives to make our ships fast enough to get out to where we've got to go quick enough. Let's see. Okay, so sublight drives. No, we got to get further than that. Okay. So someone decided to come within my planetary space here. These are my defensive ships right there. And they should be able to defend me from anything coming at me for a while. Okay, I don't have planetary missile base yet. So we're just producing infantry. Infantry are just like what you put in your troop transports. We're not going to be bothering with any of that, but if you did want to do ground combat, these would, you know, you'd be throwing these guys at the enemy, basically. Lots of them. Alright, technology, fleet, sublight drives. Okay, we want to get to fusion drives. There it is right there. 53, turn 53. Okay, so this is probably just a scout. It's nothing to worry about. We'll know when they actually want to come kill us. Automated factories, okay, impulse engine, fusion drives. Diplomacy messages, hello. Okay, fine. Should be almost there, right? Just about. Probably next turn. Okay, yeah, again, more scouts. Easily destroyed. I will do, like, you know, real-time combat at some point here, but for a lot of combats, I'm just going to do it automated. Okay, researching fusion drives. Alright, that's where I need to get. Now, the next thing I actually need to get, and I forgot, is, we need to get, automated factories, actually. Yeah, because that's how I'm going to build my ships fast enough. So, let's just get to let's see. Just right down there. I don't know why there's two research automated factories at level 17 and level 18. I think that might be a bug. I'm not sure if those are the same thing or they're distinct improvements. I'm going to find out. Okay, I'm researching one of them. I want to get to the other one, though. Okay, we got both of them. Alright, cool. Alright, I'm going to even out my tech again. Alright, we are there. Let's go ahead and go to new design. I guess frigate. Starship, has to be a starship. And long-range attack. Let's auto-build, and then let's switch to reconnaissance. The reason I'm switching it to a reconnaissance in the mission, so you have formations, you have ship formations. You know, it's not just a single ship that you're putting into combat, it's a formation of ships. And formations, at least with this mod, can go up to 32 ships in a formation. Typically, for every other formation but reconnaissance, you have to have two different types of ships, or two different ship mission ships, right? Rather than have to build two different types of ships, I just switch the mission to reconnaissance, and that makes me able to just put the same build of ship in a formation up to 32 ships. That's just a convenience type thing. I mean, you could take the same design of a ship and make two copies of it, and then, you know, combine those ships. But I'll do that later, but it's a pain in the butt at this point. So, that's why I'm making the mission reconnaissance. Anyway, alright, strip all the stuff off, because we don't need it. Defense, very light armor. Okay, just to make it as cheap as possible. And what we're going to put on this is the research laboratory that we researched. Research lab houses the ship's scientists and provides them with a workspace for their experiments. Each lab adds +20 to your chance of discovering an Antarian X when sent on expeditions. Again, the mysteries behind the mechanics of this game. What does that mean? Is 20 plus 20%? Is it, I don't know. What's the value? What's the base value we're working off of there? Who knows? I think I'm fairly certain, based on experience, that the more you put on, the better your chances. So we're going to try to shove as many of these on as we can. To make more space, we're going to take the system drive and put the speed at 1. Basically, what that has the effect of doing is, if you're in combat, you're much slower, but this doesn't matter because this ship's not even going to be in combat. Ooh. Destroyer. Ooh. I have to get a better hull of ship, I think. Holy crap. Hold on. Let me look at my technology. Didn't realize it was that far behind. Light cruiser and light cruiser. Let me get the light cruiser at least. One more turn. Okay, there you go. There you go. Light cruiser at least. Holy crap. I think I could put no armor. I'm not actually sure, because they're not going to be in combat at all. It's a tiny amount of savings there, so I'm not going to bother, because I don't know. I don't know if that factors in at all as far as your survivability. I don't think it does. Okay, so I'm usually comfortable shoving at least 4 research laboratories. It would be nice to have 5, but I'd have to wait for the next ship size, so... And plus it makes it more expensive. Okay, we're going to call this Antarian, so we know what the mission is here. So there you go. 4 research laboratories, plus let's remember that I have the extra bonus with my race picks to, you know, double the chance of my finding the Antarian X's. So basically what matters here is that you get these things out as soon as possible, because past a certain point in the game, the AI will actually go out and search the Antarian X's itself, and it will find some. So what we're going to go to do is we're going to go to finance, and we're going to put our military economic policy to holy war. And and what that'll mean, I'm going to put the Unrest slider a little bit up there, because I see the Unrest is a little bit maybe higher than what it would normally ideally be. So what this means is that the Planetary AI, when it's adjusting its sliders, it'll start to spend more producing ships. And the only ship available to produce is the Antarian, so that's the ship that it'll put in their the production there. That way I don't have to really like micromanage anything, which, except for the the capital, I will micromanage that, because that's my big producer. Okay, there you go. So we're going to build 10 at a time here. I'm going to crank the research development down so we have more money to crank this up. Ooh, okay. So not as fast as I'd like to be here. I'm thinking that I'm probably not fully developed down here is the problem. So 97. Yeah, I'm missing some improvements. Okay, let's, while we're doing that, why don't we crank a little bit up the economic development, or the, economic development slider, to kind of fix those, get those improvements a little bit faster. In fact, since I've got plenty of food, I don't know if it would make any sense to switch these to industry DAs at this point. Maybe it would. Yeah. We want as much production as possible. We want to just crank these ships out here. Okay, another scout. So you notice my food dropped a little bit. That's okay, though. The other planet should pick up for that the food that we lost there. Intercept fleet. Fine. Wonder what another ship there that probably shouldn't be there. What do I have? Oh, no, that's okay. All right. Finally got out. Apparently finally got out that defensive ship. There you go. 4 turns. That's starting to look a little bit more reasonable. Product farms, I guess. Set the fleet. Yeah, whatever. Okay, Planetary Stock Exchange, sounds good. What's this? What are we doing? We're still waiting to... Okay, we're still waiting to build that. Drop the slider a little bit. So this is the only planet I'm really going to micromanage. But you have to at this point. Later on, we won't micromanage at all. As far as what it's producing. Our diplomats have established contact with Meklar, I guess. Cynoid. I don't know. I'll do that. I know he probably refused, but whatever. What did he say? Nope, he didn't respond yet. I guess that'll be a flat-out no. Okay, shipyards got an Antarian out the door. I'm gonna just produce 2 really quickly because that's what I need to actually make a my flotilla. So I want to send those guys off as soon as possible. They have accepted our... Weird. I remember like the AI just instantly declaring war on you in the base game if you were the Ithkul, but either I'm misremembering or they changed that with this mod that I'm using. I don't know which it is. Okay, so I got the industry. Okay, I got the industry up and running. Let's get those couple of ships out. Also, I might need... yes. Okay, we need to fill up our spy queue again. Alright, there we go. We got 12. Turn 71. Not the best, but... Alright. Send out a task force. So, this is what we're going to be doing for a little while, is we're going to be sending out these task force... ship task forces that are equipped with, you know, the research lab and everything. And they're going to go look for Antarian X's. The Antarian X's are down here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're very worth finding. I'm going to try to find all 5 if I can. If I can't, well, I'm at least going to get 3. I can tell you that. So, hopefully that happens. Not sure why it's focusing beam tech above everything else, but whatever. All right. So, yep, we got to crank out more of those ships, though. Diplomacy messages. Threat. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised at that. Okay, 6 turns for that. 6 turns for 10 ships isn't bad. And I'm still... Let's see, securities board. I still haven't gotten to automated factories yet. I still haven't got my automated factories out. Maybe I'll drop that a little bit. I really want to just, like, even though I don't have my automated factories, I just want to get that out as fast as possible. Okay, again, I guess scout. They will eventually try and just attack me, but we're not quite there yet. Ooh, wow. Ooh, wow. Whoa, look at my... ah! Look at how much I'm spending on cleaning up pollution. Holy crap. It doesn't matter, though, because I've got so much income anyway. But, wow, that pollution is high. Like I said, eventually that will be completely mitigated. Or, well, not completely. I don't think it'll go 0, but with some advanced tech, that'll be not a big deal at some point. Okay. But that is high. I mean, I took a lot of penalties there. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Turn X. All right. Okay, we should have some ships now. We do. Okay. Boy, I'm making this fast. Wow, I'm already on the next 10, and I'm going to get it 2 turns. What is going on? Wow. I don't know what happened, but boy. Oh, by the way, this government DEA is adding 90% effectiveness to every other DEA. That's actually pretty damn good. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. So it's a powerhouse. Holy crap! My unrest value is -2. Wow. So, like I said, I could just crank the slider up there, and it wouldn't affect me whatsoever. Let me see. Holy moly, yeah. Nice bulk freight module. Like all throughout the game, your planet will just be building stuff, improvements, and adding them, and yeah. There's an organic FLU, so forced labor unit. I don't know, basically a slave, I guess. Oh, you know what I think happened? You know why I got that big boost in production? I think because an organic forced labor unit added itself to the government DEA, and that government DEA boosted the effectiveness of everything else. I think that's what happened. Maybe. Oh, another thing is I got an organic. Look at how much. Like, look at the difference here. I've got automated factories and one forced labor unit right here, and I'm pumping out 255 production, whereas every other industry DEA is like 149. So that's, yeah. So it takes a while for you to get those forced labor units, though. Okay, anyway, we've got enough to send another flotilla out. There's another task force outbound. Okay. Let's go, let's go. 2 ships this time. I guess they're just 2 separate scouts, though. I'm not sure why they keep sending these ships over here. It's just dumb computer. Shipyards. Okay, we are sending more ships out. So, the reason why I'm sending 12 ships and not 1 is because you lose ships on the way to the mission and while you're in the mission. And if you lose all the ships, you know, you fail. Or, you know, that task force just goes away and, you know, can't search anymore, obviously. So, you gotta have enough ships to actually survive, you know, the deaths. But on the other hand, if you make too many ships, it takes too long to get the task force with too many ships out. So 12, usually, I don't know, 12 to 18 is kind of the ideal range, right? If you have 18 ships, you'll pretty much never lose all the ships before you find what you need to find. If you have 12 ships, it's a little bit riskier, but like I said, I'm going as fast as I can because I want all of those things. So we're doing the 12 ships this time. If I was a little bit more cautious, I'd probably do 18 ships, but we're, like I said, we're doing 12 ships because I just want to get these things out there as fast as possible. And well, it's working. We're getting them out pretty fast. Alright, next turn we should be able to send out another wave, or not a wave, but a flotilla, I guess. Alright, there she blows. Let's go. Flotilla. Okay, so we got four formations out there. So far, we're pretty rock solid here. Sanitation infrastructure. Alright. Diplomacy messages. Research, why not? I don't think I'm still making anything from these deals. Yeah, I'm making 107? Additional research, grants to planets. Yeah, I think that's over here. Yeah, no, this is expenses, yeah. Yeah, here it is right there. 107, I think, is what we're getting from that total. It's just basically nothing. Alright. Yep, there we go. Victory. Flotilla. There's 5 task forces. Can I get a 6th right now? Yes, I can. 6. I'll probably send as many as 8. Just to make sure, like, if we lose completely a couple of task forces, that we still get, you know, we still have enough to do the job. Intercept fleet again. A couple of scouts, looks like. Diplomats lost contact with the Dolga Empire. That's interesting. Why was that? Oh. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we gained contact and lost contact at the same turn. I guess that's what happened. Who knows? All right, that is 7. This will be 8. I guess I'll send 9. We're going to go ahead and obsolete that ship design because we don't want anybody building it anymore. There it is. There's another one. Oh, we could send another one. All right, we're going to send 9 of these. Okay, one of them's finally reached destination, and they'll start searching pretty soon. Right, so let's go ahead and clear that off. First of all, we're going to take our finance, and we're going to go back to peace and prosperity, which means we won't be building many ships, and we're going to go ahead and clear those the Antarian ship design from the queues there. And then we're going to go back to researching heavily here, because I've got to get... We're in the next phase, basically, where I'm going to start attacking people. But to do that, we need certain technologies, so we're going to have to research. So I'm just going to manually clear these out here. This is got poor population, huh? It's yellow too, so we terraformed a bit on that one. That was red too. Paradise, 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 sweet spot, green one, sweet. Not bad across the board. This one's a little, you know, lagging behind, obviously, because it's wasn't a very good planet for us, but it's all right. Hold on. There's a few things I do want to do here. Did I get like a missile base, beam base, missile base, space fighter base, just in case we do need attacked? I think everybody else probably has. Intercept fleet. I think everybody else probably. Leader left the service of my empire. Yeah, that happens. They just kind of go away. There's nothing you can do about it. Or they can get killed. They can also get assassinated. Alright, I'm going to actually... let's see, where am I? I was going to say, I think I'm going to make this a mining DEA. I'm missing minerals. I need minerals now for my industry, because we got that far in tech now. So we're going to switch this to a mining DEA. You know, yeah. Let's kind of take a little bit of the stress off. I still have enough bioharvest. Everything's good as far as bioharvest goes. Yeah, okay. Just, you know, get myself just a little bit more minerals. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's technology, right? Yeah, I guess we just leave it even. I'm not going to focus on any technology, but anyway, yeah, we're going to research as fast as we can towards certain tech that we're going to use to actually go on the offensive here. Okay, just got a leader joining me. What is this? Well, no. I don't like the dock to space. That's probably, I don't know, probably should have kept that guy, but... Nah. Somebody else joined me. Who is this? Minus 15 spy defense. You're gone. You're gone. You're totally gone. Alright. Yeah, okay. Good idea. Oh, I just wanted to check on the other planets to see how they were doing with the government DEA. How well is that paying off? 30% isn't bad. 30% is respectable. Yeah. Okay. I was curious. It's one of those things that you're like, well, I wonder how good this really is. I think 30% is actually pretty good for, like, let's say you have 6 DEAs, right? 30% on 6 is way more than, like, another DEA of the same type, right? So that definitely makes sense. So let me check my spine situation here. Okay. Yeah, we have a good amount of spies. They're fending off enemy spies, so that's great. I did just build those things, huh? Well, you know, let's instead of doing that, let's do planetary shield generator, etc., etc. Contacted by other empires. Sure, why not? Whatever. Whatever floats your boat, bro. Going to kind of like the other planets have already built this stuff. I'm just making sure that my home planet keeps up. So if I ever get attacked, not only do they have to go through my you know, system defense, my fleet that I've got guarding my system, they also have to go through the planetary, like, missile base and stuff like that, which automatically keep up in tech, whereas those ships don't. Those ships are already probably obsolete. Mechanical glitches resulted in lost research data. Okay, well, nothing I could do about that. Sucks, but you can't turn events off in this game. Alright. Somebody else joins me. Okay, I don't care about minus 15 spy offense. I'm not spying offensively anyway. Ever. Okay, so level 27 beam weapons. Let's just see where we are. Okay, so let's see. Okay, where I want to get is Hercular Warhead, Death Ray, and let's see, Fighter Death Ray. Yeah, I'm almost there actually in all the categories. Don't ask me why Death Ray is at level 30. I think this is one of those things where, like, you have a chance of getting this technology. I am, of course, guaranteed to get it because I'm guaranteed to get all the technologies. But this is an extremely good weapon for level 30. This is, well, I think Death Ray exists in the unmodded game, but I'm sure that the mod that I'm using, the Tropical mod, is putting Death Ray a lot earlier than you'd normally get offered it. I'm pretty sure of that. But this is an amazing weapon. I mean, really amazing. Which, like I said, I think that normally I think that that's a much later tech. because it's devastating. It's got incredible range. It's got incredible damage, and boy, is it good. Okay, these guys are still goofing off, huh? Still trying to scout me. I don't think that's going to be allowed to happen. Pests from a visiting freighter escaped the biocontaminant perimeter and began breeding out of control. Agricultural output on Capital One is reduced. It's actually pretty rough because I got a lot of farming there. How are we doing here? Fleet, not fleet, fighter, battle computer. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Diplomats have established contact with, whatever. Okay. Bugs. You know, I don't know what's over here. I wonder... I need to start thinking about, okay, who am I going to attack first? So the Cylons are right here. This is 6 planets, 3 planets. Okay, this is, this might be like a Guardian right here, and therefore it's going to be hard to go through there. So, probably I want to go for the Cylons first. Plus, as we all know, they're good techers. Actually, you know, I can actually look at their tech. Strangely enough, I think this is him. Yeah, we're about even in tech. Even though he has way more planets, it's because I have all those bonuses. Anyway, alright. Are we there yet? Not quite. Not quite. A few more turns, looks like. Turn 100. Let's see. Research, why not? Research, why not? Let's see about how are we doing? So they're all at the destination. They're all these ships. They're looking around. Haven't found anything yet, though. That kind of sucks, but at least they're all out there.